Hello again my friends. Game Informer recently released an exclusive 14-page Destiny blowout jam-packed with new details of the game. They were lucky enough to be the first people outside of Bungie Studios to experience actual hands-on time in Destiny's universe. They spent 2 days playing the game, talking with developers and witnessing demos set across Destiny's many worlds. Their subsequent article is the most revealing and exciting insight into the game to date. All those burning questions you have about how the game plays, how customization works, how big Destiny's worlds are, all are covered in satisfying detail and then some. What you're about to hear is 100% legit. No speculation, no rumours, no guesswork. This is fact. It's by no means the definitive guide to Destiny, not by a long shot. Bungie still has a few tricks up its sleeve. As long-time fans will know, Bungie is the undisputed king of teasers, masters of the slow burn build-up. They know how to keep us wanting more, but this news blowout is a great start and something to chew on while we wait for the beta to launch. So sit back, relax, and let's talk about Destiny. According to Game Informer, Destiny is one of the most audacious and risky projects ever attempted in gaming, and it's not hard to see why. With almost 500 developers working on the game over the course of 5 years, building a universe that will last a decade and beyond, it's clear that Bungie is pouring its heart and soul into this project. When the time comes and you're finally clutching a copy of Destiny in your sweaty little palms, know this: you're holding a game changer. How can I make such a bold assumption? Well, let's delve a little deeper. Now, the question on everyone's lips is, what does Destiny feel like to play? According to Game Informer, Destiny's core gameplay is rooted in the studio's experience with Halo. Expect the same intense combat loop of one action scene after another, fighting against varied enemies with a huge sandbox of weapons at your disposal to make each encounter feel fresh and fun. Destiny is a fast, reactive and intense first-person shooter, but it's what Bungie adds to this core gameplay that sets Destiny apart from other shooters, including Halo. For example, characters level up along branching upgrade trees, story plays a central role in everything you do, and the customization of your Guardian gear and vehicles is vital, just like in a role-playing game. It's a shared world shooter that allows for a multitude of different ways to play with other people, just like an MMO, but unlike an MMO, Destiny will have no subscription fee. It's this layering of disparate features from various genres that will make Destiny feel new and not just like some other first-person shooter. So then, just how big is Destiny's universe? Well, it's without a doubt Bungie's biggest game to date, and according to Game Informer, the scale and scope of Destiny is suitably impressive to warrant its role as a flag bearer for next-gen software. Our very solar system is the celestial theatre in which Destiny's story will play out, and you simply can't ask for a more epic setting than that. Now, Game Informer's article introduces an element of Destiny's story that I've never heard mentioned before, an evil entity known only as the Darkness. Fans who've been following Destiny's progress from the start already know a little about Destiny's story. For those of you who are new to Destiny, here's a quick recap. Long ago, a mysterious sphere known only as the Traveller came to our solar system. It reshaped planets and moons, taught humanity advanced technologies and mystical powers that led to a golden age of peace and prosperity. But it didn't last. Something hit us, knocked us down and tried to stamp us out for good. That something is the Darkness, the Traveller's ancient enemy. It swept through the entire solar system, devastating civilization and leading to the collapse. The few humans who survived owe their lives to the Traveller. It managed to save one last city on Earth from devastation. Now, many years later, humanity's guardians are departing the safety of the city to reclaim their legacy across Earth and the entire solar system. And this is your Destiny. Now, according to Game Informer, each location in Destiny is a grand open space for exploration, adventures and discovery. The 5 destinations Game Informer talks about are just a sampling of what's to come. Let's run through them all. First up, we have Old Russia. Now, Earth is integral to Destiny's storyline. It's home to humanity's last safe haven, the city, which Guardians will use as a launch point for space exploration. And while players will travel to many areas of Earth in the long-term Destiny storyline, the first major location is Old Russia, specifically the shattered remains of the Cosmodrome and its surrounding area, which according to Game Informer is actually a real-world site in modern-day Kazakhstan that has long been a launch site for the Russian space program. In Destiny's world, the Cosmodrome remained a vital vital link to outer space during humanity's golden age. And as you can see here, a few colony ships still remain, left on their launch pads during the cataclysmic collapse. And a word of warning, the House of Devils, a dangerous fallen clan, have set up camp within the crumbling wall of the Cosmodrome. Needless to say, don't expect a friendly welcome. Next up is Venus. Now, Venus still remains a relatively unknown quantity. We only know that hidden within its lost jungles are the remnants of a scientific research settlement that humanity once held there. As you can see from this piece of concept art called The Shattered Coasts, the city's buildings are slowly being swallowed by the ocean. Hidden within the depths of Venus's jungles is the Vex Citadel, a gravity-defying structure. What exactly it is and why it was built remains unknown. All we know is that the Vex will destroy any lifeform that ventures too close. Next up is Mars. Now, Mars was once home to a thriving city, bustling with human life. Since the collapse, this once prosperous metropolis is now buried beneath the red dunes of Mars. As you can see, only the peaks of the city's skyscrapers are visible. But get this, Guardians can actually climb into the upper windows and then delve down towards what was once ground level. Now personally, I think this sounds really cool. Can you imagine the kind of things that will be lurking beneath the sand? And exploring a buried city just sounds so damn epic. But getting there won't be easy. Mars is occupied by the Cabal, a brutal war machine capable of lethal force. Interestingly, according to Game Informer, the Vex are also at war with the Cabal, so you can expect to see these two armies in combat with one another. Next up is the Tower. The Tower is located on Earth inside the safety of the Last City. It's where Guardians return to after exploring the solar system. Bungie describes the Tower as Earth's Camelot, a beacon of light and hope surrounded by shadow. When you're in the city, you can purchase items from vendors, turn in quest items, and interact with fellow players in large open plazas. And according to Game Informer, the Tower also houses class-focused areas for Titans, Warlocks and Hunters to just hang out. I can't wait to hook up with my fellow Hunters and compare some cloaks. And finally, we have the Moon. Like Mars, the Moon once housed a thriving human colony, but now all that remains are broken domes and deserted lunar bases. On the surface, you'll find Hellmouth, a gaping chasm that leads deep into the Moon's core, and a sprawling network of caves and fortified strongpoints that were constructed by the Hive, an impossibly ancient race of space zombies. Personally, the Moon is the destination I'm most looking forward to exploring. There's something hauntingly beautiful about the bleak grey landscape and the Earth on the horizon. And the ogre that's waiting deep within the Moon's core, a hulking mass of rage ready to crush all those who dare enter. So then, Old Russia, Venus, Mars, the Tower and the Moon, just 5 of the destinations you'll be able to visit in Destiny. But rest assured, new locations, new storylines and other content are guaranteed. Bungie told Game Informer that they plan on making sure Destiny's world is updated over time. Now, let's move on to Guardian customization, which plays a hugely significant role in Destiny. According to Game Informer, Destiny will offer a flexible suite of character customization tools and upgrades that will enable players to rebuild their characters without losing progress. And yes, Destiny also includes the opportunity to create Guardians in multiple character slots, meaning you'll be able to switch between different Guardians without sacrificing your hard-won progress. During character creation, you start with 3 basic choices: race, gender and class. Let's look at race first. Now, race is purely an aesthetic choice and will have no bearing on your abilities. According to Game Informer, your race is how you'll appear to other Guardians in shared non-combat spaces where you'll roam about without a helmet. So let's look at each race. The Exo are self-aware machines built during humanity's golden age. They have been rebooted with no memory of their original purpose and come across as unyielding and tireless. The Awoken survived the collapse but were forever changed by it. They appear otherworldly and aloof. And then we have humans, who also survived the collapse and helped to rebuild civilization. Humans offer an uncomplicated and familiar experience. Bungie has also revealed that each race will have unique character animations. So for example, expect an Exo to move in a different way to a human or an Awoken. In addition to your race, you can also pick your gender and customize your face, hairstyle and even tattoos. And finally, you get to choose your class. Now here's where things start to get really interesting. Choosing your class sets the tone for your whole experience in Destiny. Each class has a strongly defined role. Now here's where Game Informer introduces something completely new: focuses. Get used to hearing this word because it has a huge bearing on how you'll play Destiny. So what are focuses? Well, focuses are the primary way you will level up and improve your Guardian. Each Guardian has a class specific focus, and each focus advances from level 1 all the way up to level 20. Ultimately, your focus will define how you play Destiny. First up, we have the Warlock, who draws on the mysterious powers of the Traveller to create impressive spell effects. Game Informer reveals that a Warlock starts the game with the Circle of Night focus, which has impressive damage dealing skills, but less protection when the shit hits the fan. The super ability for this focus is the Nova Bomb, a devastating bolt of purple energy that can be launched at enemies to lethal effect. Game Informer also reveals a second focus for the Warlock called the Heart of Fusion. It's a support based focus that allows you to heal and buff your allies using the Warlock's Radiant super ability. In the past, we've only seen the Warlock use Radiance to destroy enemies. With the Heart of Fusion, it appears you'll also be able to use Radiance to heal. Moving on to the Titan, who sits at the opposite end of the spectrum. They use brute force to get the job done, even if it means taking a little more damage in the process. The focus you start with has yet to be named, but it's centered on close quarter devastation and built to handle the punishment you'll take when you're charging down your enemies to deliver your super ability, the Fist of Havoc, which destroys anything in its radius. Later upgrades will make the Fist of Havoc even more powerful by adding electrical damage and other such perks. And finally, we have the Hunter, who bridges the gap between both the Warlock and the Titan. According to Game Informer, the Hunter stalks their prey with skill and precision. The Hunter starts the game with the Gunslinger focus, perfect for high value single target damage. This focus allows you to whip out your super ability, the Ghost Gun, a fearsome mystical weapon that can one-shot kill most opponents. You can even upgrade this later with a perk that sets your enemies on fire. Every class has numerous focuses to acquire and develop over time. You shape your focus's abilities as you level up, and each focus will have its own separate upgrade trees in which you'll be able to modify your grenade types, for example homing or proximity grenades, your vertical movement, for example short range teleport or double jump, your melee bonuses, passive bonuses, and even upgrades to your focus's super abilities as mentioned earlier, like the Titan upgrading his Fist of Havoc super to include electrical damage. In conclusion, your focus is the thing that carries all your Guardian's abilities, that determines your playstyle. It's what makes you unique, what makes your enemies cower in fear and your fellow Guardians salute in admiration. It also tears up the rulebook for how traditional leveling is usually implemented in a game, because now your focus can be treated like any other piece of equipment. It can be changed and swapped just like a regular weapon without losing your hard-earned progress. For example, you may have a focus that you've leveled all the way up to 20, a focus that you built specifically for competitive multiplayer. Well, now you can swap that offensive damage dealing focus for a healing orientated focus that you can use for cooperative raid work. And the beautiful thing is, you don't lose your damage dealing level 20 focus. You've simply swapped it for another one until you want to come back to it. And this gives you the freedom to experiment to your heart's content without losing progress. Expect veteran Guardians to have numerous level 20 focuses to swap and change at will. It's a brilliant way of leveling up and will be sure to keep you coming back for more. And what's more, your focuses can become more effective when combined with the right gear. You'll want to use the armor and weapons that work best with your particular focus. Your primary, secondary and heavy weapons each have color coded ammo. Just like your focus, you'll select the weapon you want for any given scenario before heading into the fight, picking from an arsenal you've acquired over the course of your adventures. In addition to class specific armor, you'll also need to select a helmet, arm protection, torso armor and leg equipment, each of which carries its own bonus and abilities. Now on top of all this, 3 more additional pieces of gear complete your character, the first of which is the Ghost, a floating AI companion that serves multiple roles, including lighting the way in darkened areas. It will be voiced by Peter Dinklage, so not only will it look cool, it will sound cool. Each Guardian will also have their own customizable personal vehicle called Sparrows that look like the speeder bikes from the Star Wars movies. You can hop on these non-combat vehicles to travel between locations in the large open world environments of Destiny. And finally, you'll have your own personal spaceship. Now, your spaceship will be frequently on display for other players to see. It's visible as you walk from one planet to another, and you can see it hanging in orbit with other Guardian ships before a competitive or cooperative match. So you'll be able to show off the decorations you've won for your ship on your adventures. Think of it as bragging rights. Now, Bungie has ruled out manual spaceflight, so don't expect to be controlling your ship in intergalactic space battles. Bungie has made it very clear that Destiny is a first-person shooter and not a spaceflight simulator. I've already made a detailed video about this very subject, so if you haven't already seen it and you want to learn more, click here. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of part 1 of my Game Informer breakdown video. In part 2, I'll be covering enemy races, competitive multiplayer, co-op modes, gameplay controls and weapons. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Guys, can we get this video to a record-breaking 2,000 likes? That would be amazing and show me that you guys would like part 2 to be as detailed as part 1. Thanks for watching, you beautiful bastards. Here comes that mother chuff of a boom. Hello again, my friends, glad to see you made it beyond the boom. Now, as I'm sure you're well aware, Bungie dropped Destiny's official release date, September 9th, 2014. As soon as the info hit the web, my Twitter feed exploded. Some of you guys were pissed that we had to wait another 8 months, some of you guys saluted Bungie for taking their time and not rushing the game, and others were just relieved that we finally had a release date. If you want to hear my thoughts on the matter, click the little on-screen box that says release date. So guys, Destiny info is pouring in thick and fast. Think of this entire month as one big Destiny info splurge. As always, I'll be here to keep you informed with all of Bungie's latest shenanigans. And like I said, part 2 of my Game Informer breakdown is on the way. I hope you enjoyed part 1. And one more thing before I go, there's a Destiny beta access code hidden in this very video. You'll need to be lightning quick to redeem it as these things go super fast. Good luck. And as always, until next time, Guardians.